Good morning to you, Arliss. Good day. How you doing here today, folks? It's Brody. February 28th, the last day we get out of this tiny little month. In February. Morning, Arliss. Good morning, Coach. How you folks doing today? It's February 28th, 2023. Thanks for joining me, the amazing fans of Magic the Gathering. 214 of you amazing subscribers who love the game as much as we do. The best darn Magic show in the world this morning. Thank you for joining us on the morning show, folks. We're going to do a little bit of Magic stock and some Magic talks here for you folks this morning, but just let me take a minute, and why don't you all just take a minute to arrive on the show with me here this morning. Thank you. It's okay to do that. You can always take a minute for yourself. It's actually a good thing to do every now and again. Brody, I find when I'm having a bit of a tough day, sometimes the best thing to do is take a minute for myself. I'm having a fantastic morning, and I want to thank you for joining me. We're going to do a little bit of Magic Stocks and some Magic Talks. Here we are. We made it. The greatest Magic the Gathering talk show in the morning. Brody Stocks and Talks. We got a couple of interesting things for you folks here this morning. We've got a little bit of news recap for you folks here today. Just going to build myself a coffee. It's the first one of the day. Checking out the chat this morning. I have a question for you all. How many of you folks play MTG Arena? LMK, let me know in the... Oh, we're not going to add an option. We're not going to add an option. How many of you folks play MTG Arena? And if so, how many games can you play in an hour? Kind of interested to know what you folks think. Do you have it on your computer? Myself, I can't bring myself. See, for me, it's a bit of a love. Me and Mrs. Alfonso both. We have a bit of a love-hate relationship with MTG Arena. It's funny that way. We'll put it on the computer, and then once things sort of happen, like you get on a sequence of like bad beats or something like that, and you get frustrated. We get frustrated with the game. We always seem to delete the thing as a form of breaking up with it. Yeah. If you get mad enough at it to delete it off your, have you ever got mad enough at Arena to delete it off your computer altogether? Currently, I don't have it installed, and I haven't had it installed on this computer just yet. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's kind of a funny thing. Folks, let me know if you are you magically. I'm just kind of trying to steadily get a feel for the audience, like you folks that tune in each and every day here on the channel. I really appreciate you folks for watching. Yesterday we had a lot of fun. Today we're gonna have a little fun, but let's warm up first. We're gonna do a little bit of warm up. Just take a minute and arrive here safe and sound on the channel. Good morning, folks. It's Brody. We are gonna do a little bit of review on some AI generated magic cards this morning. Why don't you do it with me? I know your time is valuable, so thanks for spending some of it with me today on February 28th, the last day of the month, 2023. I thank you so much. Let's get this day started right. It's a Tuesday. You know the rules. If it's a pass, we give it a pass. But if there's any gibberish on the card whatsoever, we fail it. We don't have time for that. We move on. Let's check it out real quick. All right, what do we got here? Guardian of Princes. The first card here for you folks this morning, just to warm up here. Guardian of Princes is a bird wolf. Cool. I don't see his head, but maybe it's at the top. It's got, I see the feathers. 1 blue and 2. The bird wolf is a 2/2, so it's a bear. Bushido 1. Creatures with Mountain Walk can be blocked. And whenever you cast a white spell, Guardian of Princes gains Shroud until end of turn. I think it's good. It's a decent card. Are we ranking these today? Are we ranking these? I think we should rank this one today. Let's give it a ding. It's okay. We don't mind this one. That's Guardian of Princes? Sure, why not? The 2/2 bird wolf. It doesn't have flying though. I think we could do better. I think rather than Bushido 1, it should have flying, but it's in more wolf form at the moment than it is in bird form. Jaya's Excerpination. Hard to spell, hard to say. Jaya's Excerpination, Azorius card for a blue, white, and 1 3-mana planeswalker. Up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn for 1. -2 target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample until end of turn. You gain life equal to its converted mana cost. Okay, trample in Azorius, and you get an emblem with 1 red and 2. Sacrifice another creature. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Straight up emblem with reanimate in red. And it's also got 1 and a Simic. What? 1 and a Simic on this card as well? Okay. 1 and a Simic. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's really powerful. Like, that is a lot of text on a card. Any mumbo jumbo here? I don't really see it. I think it's okay. I kind of want to see it's okay. It's odd though that the casting cost has to me it's odd the casting cost is Azorius, but there's like a Simic ability on the card, -6. What do you think here? This one's kind of tough. I think the second part of the card is like printed on the Planeswalker. Like it's also got this mana ability. Are they going to start putting mana abilities? Good morning, folks. Good morning, Michael Superbacker. Do you play Arena? Gordon Titan, we're just warming up here this morning. Jerry's experimentation. I think we should give it a pass. Let's give this a ding, ding, ding. I'm just curious to know how many of you folks out there just kind of get an idea for the viewers. You amazing viewers. Do you play Arena? Yes, no, sometimes. Kind of in a love-hate relationship with that console. Get mad at it, delete it. I wonder, are they going to... Yeah. This Planeswalker looks like it has a mana ability. Let's check out the next one here, folks. We've got Jai's experimentation. We're going to give it a pass. Just a beautiful plains for you this morning. Nothing more than just a fantastic plains. 75% yes, 1%, 25% no. 4 votes. Beautiful plains here. Michael Superbacker's in the house. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for joining us this morning. Thanks for having my back, Michael Superbacker. Coffee's in the cup. Brody's warming up. We're getting ready to go. It's February 28th. It's the last day of little old February. Let's make it worth it, folks. Let's make it an awesome day. Titan to man. Hard name to say. Titan. How you doing this morning? Nice planes. Can we give it a pass? Let's pass it. Arliss is here joining us for the conversation this morning. I appreciate you, Arliss. Thanks for joining. And we also have, who else we got in the, oh, Coach is here. The coach is here. Of course, I can't go on without the coach. All right, let's go. How would you evaluate Jaya's experimentation? It's fair. I think we give it a fair. Oh, here's another planeswalker. Caesar, the Mirror's Relic. Dust my eyes, deceive me. Let's check this out. 6 mana red planeswalker, 4 loyalty, +1 create 2 1/1 white soldier tokens with vigilance. -X, return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Create a token that's a copy of it. Wow, that's super powerful. We'll take it. I think this thing's okay. Seems fine. Seems fine. Seems fine. I think we could take this. Let's get the chat working, making sure that's going okay. We're just getting warmed up here, making sure the stream is working okay. Welcome, everybody. The chat is on fire. Chat box is working. Hey, working like a gherkin. Hard to get going. Let's go this morning. I think we got a Caesar the Merc Relic. Give it a pass. Why not? I'm feeling generous. It's the last day of February. Let's give it a job. Right? Morning to y'all. Arliss says good morning to y'all. Morning to you, Broham. I love it. Okay, the things are working. Good morning, Michael Superbacker. Yes, sometimes. Very nice. Very nice. A couple of you folks play Arena. Titan 2-man. Is that Titan 2-man? That's it, right? That's all it is. Titan to, is it Titan to man or is it Titan to man? Titan to man. Is it like one thing to the other or is it Titan to man? Like how do you a musical guy? Is it a triplet? Is it ta 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 or is it like Titan to man? From Titan to man and back again. It's a tough one, so I just say Titan. I hope that's okay. Titan to man. Total tease. Got my tongue tied with the total tease this morning, Titan to man. Oh yeah, see we're rolling. We're getting warmed up. Tongue tied with tease with Titan to man here on the morning show. It's February 28th. Let's go. Caesar the Marigrella. Let's see. We're gonna give it fair play. Fair play for the season. I see here. We're back to the mind caverning. Mind caverning. That's sort of where we left off yesterday. Can we find one more? Did Brody leave any stones unturned? The arrow dragon. That's where we left off. Okay, we didn't check this one out. I know that because there was just too many of these from over the weekends. So this is just Titan. It says just Titan. Titantaman. I want to get it right. It's important. It's important. It's important to me. It's great though. It's great, Titan. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate your viewership here this morning. Support on the channel. Let's roll one or two more of these AI generated magic cards. Tomb the Dismession. Huh? Tomb the Dismession? They're putting all kinds of made up words on here, I swear. I mean, target player sacrifices a plains. Search that that player's library for a card, then you lose the game. Get out of here. Okay. At least it made me laugh. I think it's kind of funny. Let's go. And the Bonder Guardian. This one, a 5/5. Oh, cool. One red and four for a 5/5. This is gonna be great. Ah, Titan. All right, let's see here. We got when Bonder Guardian enters the battlefield, you gain 29 life. Lose all cards in your hand. You may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, this turn exile it instead. Get out of here. See, got it. It's like squashing a bot. Get out of here. This thing's so. Thank you, Brody. Yeah, I appreciate your viewership. You know, somebody's name is arguably the most important. You know, I don't like it when someone's like, "Hey, you," because that could be anybody, right? It's hard to like respond to that. And sometimes I meet a lot of people, and it's tough to get people's names down. But I find if I say it a bunch of times, it's difficult on the chat because I'm just an old man blathering to himself here, you know. But it's all good. It's all good conversation. Thanks. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling warmed up because we got just this card here left for the warm up. Vraska Nissa, Voice of Alabaster. Interesting card. She's a 5 loyalty Vraska Planeswalker. Vraska Nissa, Voice of an Alabaster. 1 green and 2 for a 3 mana Planeswalker. +1 untapped target permanent. Seems fine. I'm scared to read the rest of the cards. This could get bad. It's good already, right? It's fine so far. Okay, -3 draw a card, and then -7 get an emblem. At the beginning of your end step, create a 6/6 worm creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. That's really good. Let's pass it. Word salad for. All right. All right, we got a little bit warmed up here this morning. We're going to thank you folks for joining us here this morning. So I want to just bring up a couple of things for you, for the viewers here this morning. Just get a couple of. Oh no, where did it go? Let's take a look at the price of Hasbro stock this morning. So currently, we're going to hit the refresh button. Let's take a look at the 1-day chart. 55.29. But according to Market Insider, Hasbro continues to destroy customer goodwill and the stock could crash 29% as it dilutes the value of Magic the Gathering, Bank of America says. So this is sourced from the Market Insider. This is an article that came out just a couple of weeks ago. Market Insider did a whole piece on this, and I can just take a minute to comment on it for you. I guess in reading this article a little bit more, and I went back to this particular article because I found it interesting. The targeted projected price for Hasbro stock is now $42. It's been put in the news, I believe over here at Market Insider, as $42, and that's sort of the number that's been going around on the internet. Now, what do you folks think? Is it going to go? This is that 29%. Yeah, Hasbro continues to destroy customer goodwill, and the stock could crash 29% as it dilutes the value of Magic the Gathering. You don't say. This is Market Insider. This is already from a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're still sort of headed on down that path. But let's take a look at the price. Stock is at $55.29. It's down 2% from yesterday, and it's been on a steady decline since, well, since the last 6 months. It really, and I don't think it's going to get any better for these guys. Do you think that Wizards is taken to task? I'm kind of curious to see if, like, it's obviously they didn't slam the brakes on. If you think about it, they've continued down this sort of path of uh, printing and peppering us with mass releases of products over and over again. So if you think about it, destroying customer goodwill, what do you think? Let me know. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Has Bro done enough to fix the goodwill that these guys are talking about? Maybe they have. Maybe I've been a little bit too biased in my opinion, and they're steadily working hard around the clock to address these problems with overprinting and customer goodwill that these folks over at Market Insider. And maybe it's reflected, maybe the people buying or selling this stock are wrong. Like, I mean, it's just been going down on a steady downward trajectory here for the last, oh, I don't know, 6 months in this sort of general direction. Like, are these people just bad at stocks or bad at it building a companies? Like, or maybe this is done on purpose, right? Like, I mean, how can you experience significant gains if you don't first take a significant loss, right? Some people may argue that they are doing everything they can to restore the goodwill of Magic the Gathering, and that's sort of reflected here in the stock price for you folks. The bank reiterated its underperform rating for Hasbro and its $42 price target, which represents potential downside of 29% from the current levels. In November, Bank of America warned that Hasbro was killing its golden goose by over monetizing Magic the Gathering. Another source from Market Insider. Okay, so over monetization, so many sets coming out. Like, I was just over at the Amazon website and the Amazon store there, and they've got not only the items on pre-release, they're not even out yet, and you can already give them money for it. So, like, is that what they mean? That's not what they mean by killing the golden goose, is it? I can't imagine that it is, but I would hardly think that these folks would be ignoring this problem and be doing everything it is within their power over there to fix it. Like WotC staff, for example, like we've read enough in the news, and I'm expecting maybe some more news articles to come out. What do you think? Is this $42? I think $42 is like a reasonable number for a company like Wizards of the Coast. Maybe even like $30. Like, shrinking back to say, like, would that be fair to say? Like, when was the company worth about $42 a share? I think that was back in like 2000, maybe mid 90s, when some people say Magic was really good, right? But I mean, what do I know? That's just, that's just me, right? Was Magic on the right course at one point in time? Maybe the stock price is just getting too high, right? And need to push it back down again. That could be what these folks are doing, don't you think? So it's sort of going hand in hand with this digital online play over at the MTG Online Arena. It's a good marketplace. It's a digital marketplace. It's a very fast marketplace that is able to connect with folks. I try not to buy the gems. Don't buy the gems. Don't buy the jewels. I try to do it just by, like, having fun and interacting. But maybe that's just a another example that I'm doing it wrong. Like, I want to think, like, deep down inside, he really wants to think that the folks over at Wizards of the Coast are doing absolutely everything to fix this problem, and I'm sure they are, right? I'm sure they're working very hard, but people always talk about the stray pen mark over part of the deck master, but it's a little asymmetrical random white speck on the back of every Magic card that truly taunts me. Oh, this is just from this little spot right here on the map. This is what they're talking about. WotC staff. So this is straight from Twitter. So it's, I mean, these are the problems that the folks over in the WotC staff are working really hard to solve. This, if you it's not over monetization that they should be working on. It's this is the pen dot, a little water dot on the back of the magic card here in the corner. I put an arrow to it, but this is draw a little attention. This is straight off of WotC staff's Twitter profile. So these, in the times like this, I'm sure they are all, getting nose to the grindstone and working on fixing this over monetization problem. But outwardly looking at you folks and me and everybody else, this is what I see when I go on and I want to interact or see what WotC staff is up to, because I'm interested. How about you? Are you folks interested? Do you like checking the prices of magic cards? Is there enough information out there? Where do you get your information? Do you get it from the newsman? Do you get it from your Twitter feed? Do you get it from my younger brother, Rudy? Where do you get your information on magic cards? There's a lot of price information going around. I'm checking them every single day. Let me do it for you. It's Brody. I'm here on the morning show. We're doing a little bit of magic stocks and talks for you folks. I'm going to give you, so the term of the day for anybody who's getting into stock trading. We talked a little bit yesterday about what it is to be an accredited investor and what the difference is between just a regular, I guess this would be a pleb in the investing world. Like, did you know that there's a physical barrier between you and the stock market? It's in the form of a broker. And do you know why they call them brokers? It's because, you guessed it, it's because they make you broker. But if you happen to have, enough money to yourself buy stocks or magic cards straight, stocks on the open market, there's a few of these terms that people throw around. So today, the term of the day is double top. I'm going to see if we can pick out a double top in the stream here this morning. Let's take a look at the max time chart. So here's a bit of a double top here. Like this right here, it would be considered close to a double top. You see there's two tops on it, right? It looks like an M, right? Oh, Brody, you see, Brody just wants to draw lines on charts. Brody doesn't have to be that smart. But like, I can read a book and I can do a little research. So double top is like this pattern. It looks like an M shape, right? Sort of like this. There's also the opposite of, it's called a double bottom. But what does double top mean anyway? A double top is a signal that, like we talked about flags a couple of weeks ago, but a double top is like a signal that the price of whatever commodity it is or stock has made two attempts to break through a ceiling, and we talked about ceilings, a ceiling resistance level, and has been unsuccessful. So in this graph here, Brody's drawing lines on charts again. The blue line is the ceiling, and this black line is the double top. The pink pointing to it is illustrating that double top. So that's what we're looking at here, folks, is a good old-fashioned double top, right? It's made two attempts to break through that. In the more even they are, the more difficult it is. This one doesn't look like a true double top per se, but it's pretty close. Important thing to keep in mind when talking about a double top is this is an indication of a reversal, meaning something is just like when you're driving your car, it means it's starting to go the other way. So that's what we're looking at here. That's your stock term for today. We're going to see if we can put it into practice. Keep your eye out for the double top. It means something's reversing. And the interesting thing about the double top is it's got a double bottom too. Hey, 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 hey. And for all you folks thinking that's what I'm talking about, no. Double top, just like Brody's cowboy hat, it's got the 2 points on it, right? Double bottom is like a W. It's going the other way. So when you see the double top, it's a reversal pattern. Looks like things are going to start turning down. Double bottom is a W pattern, and it's usually something that indicates that things have hit rock bottom and are going to start to go up the other way. So, like, when we're looking at this Hasbro chart, how is that, Brody? This makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm just talking about general terms that are out there and trying to understand how far we have to go, because maybe we're going to see a double bottom in the Hasbro stock in the next little while, right? This actually might be a double bottom right here. Now that I mention it, but I don't think. Well, does this look like a double bottom here? This is not necessarily. No, this is not, definitely not a double bottom. It's too rounded, right? A double. We might end up having to see this sucker go lower, and we'll see if we get a double bottom, right? That's two tries to hit. Um, it's two tries to hit a lower support level or a floor level, and that means that the stock price is so low that people are just willing to pick up large quantities of it. And when I say people, I shouldn't say that. Investors, the people that we're talking to at these quarterly meetings that Hasbro is having. Those are the people we're talking about. Folks who support the Project Blue Beam 2022 Project Blueprint 2.0. I think that's what it's called. Blueprint Project. People who are full support of Project Blueprint 2.0. And these are accredited investors, firms, big banks who are willing to throw money at this stock price because it's just too cheap. So if you ask me, like, this is just my opinion, and I could be wrong. But let me know. So people always talking about the stray pen mark, and I think that is when we go talking about the stray pen mark. I think we're talking about this mark right here across the deck master, right? But what they're really talking about over on Twitter in the last couple of months is this problem here with a little white dot in the back of the card. Double top, double bottom. Talked about some flags, floors, ceilings. Like, how do these folks know what they're talking about? Let's just build ourselves another little cup of coffee. Folks joining in, thanks. Let me take a look at some comments here, get them up in the chat. I'm going to see if we got any news articles for you folks to read here this morning over at the stock desk. Got to check that out. Pretty decent cup of coffee here this morning. You know, I've got another question for the let me get my okay. They're driving the bus off a I got to get the chat working here. I got to get the chat working here. Michael Superbacker, I love the analogy. They Michael Superbacker says they are still driving the bus off of a cliff. Lower the price of boxes, then I'll change my mind. Okay, that's a pretty good opinion. Michael Superbacker says they're still driving the bus off of a cliff. Okay. Uh, I get my information right here. Love it. Pure MTG is in the house. Morning, MTG Gaming Bob. Pure MTG. Happy to have you here, all you folks. I got a little article to bring you from the stock desk. Bob, this one goes out to you. And thank you for joining. Two cards that I really am fond of is Painter, Servant, and Grindstone. And if you know Brody just a touch, I'm a fan of Legacy in this combo, and we've spoken about it over the past couple of weeks. So it's interesting if you've been tuning in, and I know you have. And then a testament to Michael Superbacker, MTG Gaming Bob, all you folks who've been tuning in. You know we've been talking about the Painter, Servant, and now this deck. And I don't even need to read this. I can already throw you folks a couple of comments here. Used to be a tier 2 legacy deck. In fact, it was arguably a tier 1.5. I know because I played it, and people would always tell me, Brody, you're never going to win with that piece of junk tier 2 legacy deck. And I'm like, but it's fun. I play what I like, and when I win, I feel good. I've had some really clutch wins playing this deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stock desk, because Ryan Cole, shout out to Ryan because he brings us some fantastic articles here. I'm going to thank him. Let's get right into this. I want to hear his 2 cents on these 2 cards. Let's go. Everybody, this article is brought by Ryan Cole. He says, it's time for us over the stock desk to pay tribute to one of the better cards we have in our Magic arsenal by showcasing it on its own instead of putting it together with others to provide diversified content. This is Price of Knowledge, and it's one of my favorite articles because not only lets us talk about the cards that we love, but it sometimes shows me cards I never knew or combos that I never have seen before. Tell me about it. Give me some combo action. Give me some combo. This article is going to do that, exactly that, with Painter Survey. Not only a card that Ryan's had before in his collection, Brody owns it, loves it, plays it, but but one I have also thought was worthless and traded away for some far less worthwhile cards. So without delay, here is some information about a quite captivating card, Painter Servant. All right, this card's $75 right now. A Shadow Moor, and it's worth noting that this is one of the few Scarecrow creature types in Magic the Gathering. It's a Scarecrow. Okay, can you build a Scarecrow deck? You actually might be able to. As Painter Servant comes into play, you choose a color. It's 2 mana to cast this, so it's 2 generic. You can cast it off Ancient Tomb. You can cast it off Soul Ring. You can cast it off a land and a Lotus Petal. You can cast it off 2 mana. You can cast it off a land and a Spirit Guide. You can cast it off. There's a lot of ways to get this out in turn 1. There really is. Okay, so like let me just before we get into the article, like there's just 5 different ways you can use this. Force of Will. If you're playing a blue deck, or how about if you're playing a red deck? It doesn't matter if you're playing either or. You can and you can play it on turn 1. So you're like Soul Ring at turn 1's this. Lotus Petal turn 1's this. Mox Diamond turn 1's this. Chrome Mox will turn 1 this. And when it enters the battlefield, you choose a color. If you're playing a control blue deck, lots of people name in Blue Painter, people name blue so that everything becomes blue. Then you can red elemental blast things. You can pitch any card in your hand to Force of Will. It's just, that's already like 17 different ways to interact with this card. That's just what I've seen. I want to see what Ryan has brought us, because this is an all-time favorite. So when Shadow Moor was first released in 2008, I was in my Magic Dark Age. Oh, let's run this way. When Shadow Moor was first released in 2008, I was in my Magic Dark Age, and I was on hiatus from the realms of the Magic universe. So when I became aware of this card was when our very own Arjun introduced it to me last month. To be honest, at first I was unimpressed. Yes, it's nice, but $80 nice? I was rudely awakened, however, when I began looking further into what made this card strut proudly through our graphs at a solid $73. Being released in a larger set made me think that it must have its own niche pairings from within the set, which it does, and anyone trying to stick to a color scheme would love it. But then I got to 2016 and saw that the card had a meager $7 price tag at the time and went up to almost $20 overnight. And I had to know why. That's when I found the Channel Fireball or Deck of the Day article on this combo with Grindstone, and I was floored. The ability to say I win the game at any turn with only 2 cards and 3 mana, this combo really made this card the powerhouse it is financially today. Some diligent players came up with pairing Grindstone and Servant together in order to create a scenario where, as early as turn 2, with the proper hand, they could pay 3 mana and basically tell the opponent that the game was over. Just like that, pay 3 mana, activate Grindstone with a Servant on the field, and then it mills the opponent for 2 cards repeatedly, draining their deck to nothing before their eyes. Then when servant player passes turn back to the opponent. They can't draw. Game over. Okay, so that is the idea. Now, let me give you a little bit of obvious tech to this. The Eldrazi made this combo really not work because if people are playing Emrakul in their deck or anything that provides a shuffle ability, that it doesn't work. It shuts down this deck. And you'd be surprisingly how many times in recent times, say back in 2016, this this deck was popular, but like late late 2018 2019, like when Reanimator was a popular deck, having or any deck having an Emrakul in the deck that creates that shuffle ability, it really stuck Painter Servant in a tier 2 slot because that card was a win condition and it was prevalent in many decks. So I want to see if maybe Ryan touches on that. Before 20, that's another reason why this card I think is getting to be more popular because there's less, maybe there's less Eldrazi. Maybe, let me know. Before 2016, the card had seen great play with this combo, but when Channel Fireball covered it and the metrics went crazy and the world of Magic's eyes all turned towards it. Looking at our price graph, this is easy to see. It was about $8 until it jumped nearly 20, with some downtrend afterwards, and maintained a price over $10 after this until basically the world basically ended in 2020. Yeah, okay. Once that worldly doom and gloom time started, this card has done nothing but grow in price. With everybody staying indoors and buying away at their favorites, Painter Servant has become a hot commodity. Demand drove the price up by around 25% in a matter of only a few months, and that is still where it resides. Changing the way that it's played. So this is sort of something that we were talking about just in a couple of recent shows. Morning, Peach. Peach says that's clutch. Clutch card, right? So changing the way it's played, not only does it combo quite well with Grindstone, it has several other cards that can be played with it to create different personalized situations for your deck style. Want to get rid of everything and swing through? Replace Grindstone with Lawan, Cephalid Empress. When Lawan Cephalid Empress comes into play, return all blue creatures your opponents control to their owner's hand. Your opponents can't play blue creature spells. Well, that pretty much makes it a lock piece. Wow. Rather have your enemy's creatures. I did not know about that combo. That's a great combo. Rather than have your enemy creatures have to sit back and watch the destruction, replace Grindstone with Wrath of Merit Lage. When Wrath of Merit Lage comes into play, tap all red creatures. Red creatures don't untap during their controller's untap step. Okay, so despite the immediately I win combo, there's also some other good lock pieces that work really good with Painter Servant. I see you want to make creatures or add counters. Replace Grindstone with Teysa Orzhov Scion. Sacrifice 3 white creatures. Remove target creature from the game. Whenever another black creature you control is put into the graveyard from play, put a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying into play. And okay, so replace Grindstone with Teysa, Orzhov Scion, and one of about 15 other cards. See the Commander Spellbook Painter Servant combos for the whole list. So this one card that I played that I thought would be nothing turns out to be very versatile and vastly wanted card for anyone trying to play a great and easy legacy deck. Which is where the card currently sees heavy play even still. All right, interesting. Very cool call, right up by Ryan Cole. Being able to super clutch, right? Super clutch. Michael Superbacker says they got to ease up on reprints or he's going to have to get a second job, right? Yeah, and let's just keep going. Great comments, guys. Thanks for putting the great comments in the comment section. So being able to really get down to the bonus bones of these cards is one of the greatest pleasures in my life, and finding ones like Painter Servant that I never suspected would make me want to buy more cards that my wife would kill me for having have purchased. That's a lovely experience in and of itself. So it's a life-threatening experience buying too many magic cards. Remember, just because you saw a card as great when you first read it or as trash, you never know when someone can find the gold in it. So make sure to read your cards carefully, listen to the opinions and gameplay of others, and be willing to modify your decks when these sudden and surprising cards appear. I hope you all will enjoy this information and come back for more and more of these articles. Remember, uh, also that the premium members on Alfonso Investments are you folks who are watching, and thank you very much. This is a great article by Ryan Cole. I would encourage you to check out more from Ryan Cole. He's in Canton, Ohio. With his new wife, Julia, began playing in 95 with the cards he bought with money. He found odd jobs just to play the game. At 35, he's happy living at home as a has a full a life as possible, starting a career in freelance writing and works as a cook while he pursues that dream. Great article by Ryan. I want to say thanks for Ryan for writing about Painter Servant. And here's these couple of combo pieces that really make me want to revisit this deck. Like, why not? Question for you folks here, gameplay related. I have a question. I'm gonna post it in the I'm gonna post it in the chat. Do you think there should be mana abilities on planeswalkers? Now, one of those AI cards really got me sort of thinking, and I thought, how many times have we seen a mana ability on a planeswalker? Is this something that could happen next? Is it possible that we're gonna see more, maybe see that in the future? It's a game mechanic that I never considered. And there's one other question that I thought was really interesting that was asked at the Richard Garfield Q&A replay was, when are we gonna see a 0 mana artifact that taps for mana that comes into play tapped, right? Like, when are we going to see a 0 mana rock that taps for mana that comes into play tapped? That was another interesting question. Gameplay question. So if you explore these different options, and if you look at cards on the reserve list and the card mechanics that are sort of been flagged by way of the reserve list. I know I'm not saying that all cards on the reserve list are an example of this, but there's plenty of cards that are good examples of gameplay mechanics that won't be revisited. So when people start asking cool questions like that, I really get to thinking. Like years later, learning about interactions with Painter Servant. It seems like a yeah, seems like a legitimate question. We know what time it is. What are we going to run for? We're going to look at some movers and shakers this morning. Hope you guys are moving, and I hope you guys are shaking. Thanks for joining me this morning. Where have you got Brody this morning? Where have you got me dragging from the bumper of the car, hanging from the rear view mirror? You got me on the dash, maybe on the coffee counter, wherever you're taking Brody along with you. Thanks for taking me along for a ride. And everybody is welcome here. You're all welcome here. You, the amazing fans, the amazing subscribers, the viewers, the people who tune in, the free Treons and the Patreons to the best darn magic show in the world this morning. It's the morning show with Brody. Thanks for you guys tuning in, hitting that smash button, like button, kick it in the face, push, but don't break the screen on your phone. Give it a smash bash to that like button. I need a little help from the viewers. What are we going to do? Maybe Peach or is Tom Mitchell's not here, so we need to know what are we going to run for? What list do we want to look at? Maybe somebody can help us out. We looked at Modern for Monday yesterday. What do we want to look at today? Michael Superbacker says it's not even getting started with, and let's not even get started with Magic 30. No, I have a feeling we're gonna be in for the long haul. If we're gonna have any shot at seeing a change, it's gonna take a lot of patience. But joining in on the conversation is the best thing that you can do. Everybody's welcome here to join and share their opinions about the game, the prices. Do you like tracking the prices of Magic cards? Is there enough information out there, or is there just too much information? Is there prices make sense? Do they let me do it for you. I'm doing it each and every day. I look at these lists, look at the prices of Magic cards. I'll track them. We'll have a little conversation about them today. We're learning a little bit together here as we cruise through life together on this amazing planet. Thank you all for joining. Bob says, I don't believe too many SKUs on its own can kill Magic. Repeatedly reprinting all valuable cards can. Nobody had to have M30. Killing me. Michael Superbacker says they're killing my ability to buy boxes from each set. Yeah, I really kind of do this. I gave up. I gave up. I said nope. I can't buy a box of new sets. I got to pick. So here's okay. So be picky and be choosy about the stuff that you buy. Can somebody help me out? I need to know what list we're gonna do. Pauper? Is there? Do I ever play Pauper? Michael Superbacker. We're gonna do the Pauper list today. Garth, and he said it would take some balancing. I asked Garth, and he said it would take some balancing. Kyle Perdon, thanks, buddy, for joining in. Kyle says these oil slick patterns are awesome, but they're about to tank all the Mythics in Phyrexia fast, since there is access to more copies of the Mythic in a cleaner, cooler form. Do I ever play Pauper? I do not have a Pauper deck. I've been around the table with Pauper. I've maybe borrowed a deck and played Pauper. I've never built a Pauper deck myself. I should do that. I really should. Let's do Pauper list today. There's some interesting stuff. Let's do the Pauper list. I like it. It's a great idea, Michael. Let's check it out. Because the Pauper list, I tell you, I sat down. I was building Modern because Modern was where all the competitive. See, this is like, I'm really emotional. Like Brody gets all the emotions. He does. He gets happy, sad, mad, glad. I get all of them. And like when I get to an event, I get really excited. So like when the event, like I really like playing Magic. So like Modern, like Yeah, the main events are always like modern or standard, or generally when the big ones happen. Like when they used to have Cascade, that was standard. Cascade games did the standard events, and then there's modern. So it was like, are you gonna play standard or modern? Standard's a little hard to keep up with because the amount cards rotate. Modern, a little also getting harder and harder to keep up with, and like getting trounced on by buying into a deck and then a few months later, it's worth less, or even a year later, it's worth less. A good example is Manamorphose. So if you want to build, and there's a lot of people who have Pauper. So these are all commons. If you're new to Magic, what is Pauper as a format? It's a format that uses only commons to play it. It's you must have all commons in your deck, and it matters only if the card was ever printed in common. Like for example, if it was upshifted to uncommon, or even moved to a rare. Like Brainstorm is a pretty good example of a card that's been shifted around. It was a common in Ice Age, and then it's been uncommon. It's also been rare. So as long as the card has ever been printed in common, it's okay to go in Pauper. So let's check it out. Let's run the Pauper list. I don't run it very much, but there's some powerful magic that can come. So Brody was playing Modern, and I walked into a game store. Young man was sitting there, and he asked me if I want to play a game of Magic. I said, sure. I got a Modern deck, assuming that that's also what he had. He had a Pauper deck, and I thought it was going to be an easy matchup. And it turns out this guy, he kicked my butt. Like, he just wiped the playmat with Brody. Very competitive format. Morning, Prime 406 is in the house. Morning, Prime 406 Games. Got the cup of coffee on. I'm just gonna build myself another cup of coffee. Let's do the Pauper list. Let's take a look at this. Might be the way to get some fun into your Magic collection, right? Like, here's the thing: I have so many commons that they end up in a long box, and you got multiple copies. And what do you do with them, right? So building a Pauper deck is probably a great idea. Morning, Prime 406. So first up on the list is an expensive card for a format that's supposed to be fairly cheap. Pauper. Oubliette. Card from Arabian Nights. This enchantment card. Let's have a little sip of coffee. $30. $31.80 to get an Oubliette into your collection. This Arabian Nights was printed in common in Arabian Nights. I think it was also printed in Double Masters for $1 at uncommon. Okay, so here's a perfect example of an old Magic card that was printed in common once again in original printing in Arabian Nights, and it's been upshifted to uncommon, and it's even been included on the list time a little later. The original version is $31.80, and the reprint has allowed players who didn't want to pay the $31 to get a copy of the Arabian Nights common to get a copy of this card. So maybe that's an example of like a decent amount of reprinting. This original version is still $31. There's some price there. I want to take a look back. Let's just scroll back. I want to see what it does. It's 2 black and 1 for this enchantment card that says when it enters the battlefield, target creature phases out. Now, it doesn't say that on the Arabian Nights card. It is just errated, but it basically removes the creature from the game, phases it out until Oubliette leaves play. Tap that creature when it phases in this way. So it's like a prison card. It's like a prison card. Comes into play. You target a creature. It phases it out. It's funny it doesn't say exile until it leaves play. It says phases out. Decks using it. Let's find a little price trend here. See if we can find a double top. Top, double top. Okay, this is not quite a double top. A double top would usually be a little more aggressive than this, but like right here and right here, there's 2 tops, right? Tells me this card is not going to go, it's going to have a tough time getting through this ceiling level. Top, double top. But what I do see on the chart here, Brody just wants to. I mean, if we do see a rise in this card hover above. Good morning. The sun is shining this morning. If we do see a breakout past this level right here, and Brody's just drawing lines on charts again. If we ever do see a resistance, the resistance here on this card looks to be about $45. That's where this sort of a double top come in here. But what's interesting to me is Brody sees a couple of flags on the play. What? Flag on the play? Flag on the play. Let's check this out. Got a flag right here. I'm gonna adjust my pencil, my really epic pen here for you folks. So this is like this, this flag pattern here, right? Now I draw them like this, and I've seen. It's funny. I've seen other. I'm exaggerating it. I've seen other people draw these flags like a little differently. So there's one here, two here, and then they're starting to get farther apart. I don't know if we're ever going to see a punch to the upside here of this card, where it breaks through this $40, $45 resistance level. But this thing might drift east to west for quite a long time before we ever see that. Oubliette. Interesting card, a comment from Arabian Nights. If you don't want to buy this version of the card, don't do it. You can get a cheaper version for Pauper. This doesn't seem like the Pauper version. This seems like the bling version of the card. Double Masters, you can get it for $1.99. Cool art on this one, though. The grading, right? The bar grading? Like the grading here. The hand through the grading. Very cool. Pay to play, right? I got my tea. No coffee for this guy. Nice. I had tea here on the morning show just a little while ago. Oh, MTG is becoming a variant case like game sports cards and Pokemon. We all knew this was coming. Now that we are heading in that direction, Hasbro is making you pay if you want to get them variants. Yeah, and like speaking of Mrs. Alfonso, another really good opinion, that conversation we had. She says, "Well, when you play on Arena, how many games can you play an hour? There's no shuffling. You just hit the automatic shuffler. You don't have to sort your cards because it sorts it for you. If you want to build multiple decks, you don't have to change cards in and out of cards, in and out of decks. It organizes your collection and it makes the gameplay very fast, and you can crank out many, many games in an hour. But what does that do? It leads to fatigue. And as soon as people get bored of, I've played 100 games with the new set, like I need something else. As soon as people sort of like figure out the meta, and that's sort of that, it's sad to see for me. You know, if that's the type of player base that Wizards is encouraging, I guess to me it looks like Wizards of the Coast is encouraging staying indoors, not going outside, gluing yourself to the arena machine and grinding away and cracking the newest meta to the newest release. And that's the only way, like, that's an entry point to the Pro Tour, like playing so much online play. And because the sets come out so fast, you have to keep grinding and grinding and grinding to stay at the top. And it's the fact that they're encouraging that type of behavior, to me, is a little bit concerning. Me, I think there's like needs to be a balance between a certain amount of screen time, online play, and like human interaction, paper playing out, going around to events, and you need to foster a good and healthy gameplay experience in both of those areas, because when people are left to their own to just play video games, I can't. I mean, maybe I'm sure people are taking breaks every 15 minutes and getting plenty of exercise and drinking plenty of water and taking care of themselves, while they're spending 10 or 12 hours a day grinding away on Arena when the new set comes out, just to master it and move up to mythic level and hopefully get into Pro Tour. So what this does is it creates, and this is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, leave me a comment in the comment section there, folks. So let's see. We got the oubliette, so paper play. You can always get together with friends in person and do paper play. Now, this does twofold. It's a double-edged sword. But Precept Titania, because then the people who are playing competitive play, it's like now we're going to open up events and there's going to be competitive play and prizing and we can play again. But now we're going to be releasing a lot of paper products. So if we could just the paper is it costs some pennies a card to print it. It's physical. You have to ship it. It's it's cumbersome. If distribution is your number one problem, as has been said again and again and again, the distribution is like it's distribution, folks. We've heard that. It's the distribution problem. It's not Hasbro. But if distribution is your problem and you're buying that distribution problem drum over and again, like digital marketplace has no problem with distribution, right? Unless of course you shut down the internet. uh Precept Titania, 2 on the list, a $5.89 card. Pretty cool. It's 1 green and 1. It's a great card. It's an elf. It costs you 1 green and 1 for this 1/1. You can tap it and add green to your mana pool for each elf on the battlefield. Titania rewards all who honor the forest by making them a living part of it. Wow. Awesome art on this. I do like the Titania cards, Titania song, Priest of Titania, all the Titania lore, and we're starting to see more of that in the new sets. Kylan Perdon, what? Kylan Perdon says he always works out during games. I do 25 push-ups after each win and 25 squats after each loss. I lose a lot, so my legs are jacked and my arms are puny. I love it. That's right. So we're gonna add dice rolling into the conversation, right? If you lose the dice roll, what do you gotta do, right? Okay, so Priesthood Titania, obviously this goes in elves, right? I love it. The water Pure MTG says, don't mean to sound too negative, but the number of games does not matter as much as the quality of the games I am playing. Arena play is toxic to me. Okay, yeah, and that's a valid opinion. It really is. The toxicity I'm talking about is like, yeah, I mean, the number of games doesn't matter for you. I like the quality of games. I do. I do like a game that turns out well. I like a fair and balanced Magic game. I like a game that's competitive and sportsman like. Arena doesn't offer the some of those human interactions, right? And if it did, it would get pretty. It's amazing what people will say in a chat box that they wouldn't say. And as like Mike Tyson says, social media has made people something along the lines of social media has made people more boisterous of what they'll say without the risk of being punched in the face. Right? So people will chat just about anything. This is why we can't have a chat on Arena, because it would get quite heated. So let's take a look. Privacy, right? You can get this copy for $6. It's played in elves. Decks using it: Lathril, Blade of the Elves, Marwyn the Nurturer, Rocco Cabaretti Caterer. I want to see Rocco. Is this a raccoon? I hope it is. With a name like Rocco, it's got to be a raccoon. No, Rocco's not. Rocco Cabaretti Caterer. Huh. This person looks angry. He's got RFB all over the face. That's an elf druid. When Rocco Cabaretti Caterer enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search for library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. For a 3/1, you can go tutor up just about any creature. Pretty awesome. All right, so that's pretty. Order up! I love it. You can just order. That's a great name for this deck. Order up. What a great Great deck. This is a lot of fun. Pauper seems to be where the fun is, right? What up, Kylan? I see. No interaction. Yes. Timeout, Brody. Drop and give me 20. Ah, I like it, coach, right? Just, you don't think I can do it? You don't think I can do 20 push ups? I'll do that right now, but you got to do double. No, wait, you're the coach. I'm going to get more push ups if I talk back to the coach. Get in the corner. Order up. Great deck. Good conversation this morning. You guys, you're killing me. If I've done my job, I hope I got a chuckle out of at least a couple of you folks here this morning. Soul's Attendant. Here's another cool card. Soul's Attendant. Life gain. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may gain life. So Soul's Attendant is going to be played with like the life gain deck. Oh, cool. $5. Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, of course. Heliod Suncrowned. Liza, Shroud of Dusk. Liza, Luyai. And Darian, King of Keldor. Lisa, I want to see the Lisa. Oh, look at this. 5/5 Lisa, Shroud of. What an amazing art on this card. Rather than pay 2 for each previous time you've cast a spell from the command zone, you may pay 2 life that many times. Flying lifelink, whenever player casts a spell, they lose 2 life. This is a straight up commander, legendary creature, angel. Lisa, the Shroud of Dusk. Cool commander. Definitely. Why wouldn't you play the Soul's Attendant in there? Right? You're going to be paying some life. You need to gain it back. Brian Giles, thanks for joining, Brian. How are you doing? Brian Giles, MTG, thanks for joining, Brian. Thanks for the chat. Brian says, what do you think of the dark-skinned Aragon, or how it will affect the value and the amount of people purchasing Lord of the Rings? Honestly, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Okay. I heard some comments. I heard some comments. I heard one comment saying, somebody said, I hope they don't. Let's say good morning to Brian. Brian Giles, thank you for joining. It's Brody. It's the morning show. I heard one comment, and I've just sort of like this is the approach that I take. I have a hat on so I can like turn the brim down and I don't have to look directly at the products. Okay. Like I have a concern over like the boxing of the Lord of the Rings, because I'm like looking at the face on the Lord of the Rings and I'm like, okay, I want to see what like happens when we see the rest of the character. Right. So I'm like, okay, don't look too close. And then I heard a comment where somebody made some comment about like, I hope they don't ruin the lore. So there's a lot of lore issues around, and lore comes back to rewriting history and like the way the original characters were written in canon and what's canon and people buying intellectual property. So I think I didn't know this was a thing, Aragon, and how it will affect the value and the amount of people purchasing it. I don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing about that specifically. So I usually like reserve like the whole don't judge a book by its cover. I think that's sort of what I'm thinking. I'm gonna wait till it comes out and then I'm gonna see if they do justice to the lore of the set in any way, shape, or form. Like dwarves having beards is kind of a big thing. If we see some dwarves that like don't have beards, I'm gonna be pretty upset. Right? I'm just like, well, I won't be upset. I'm just gonna be disappointed. So I hope that great concern over the lore of the upcoming set. Brian, thank you for your comment. It's great to hear from you. I hope I did my best to answer that. Rocco was a dingo and he had a modern life. Rocco was a dingo and he had a modern life. What am I missing? That's got to be a song. For a second, my brain was thinking you were showing us more AI generated magic cards. Yeah, Lisa is a crazy good commander, right? Twiddler's in the house. It's okay. You got a job to do. It's totally fine. I'm glad you made it. Twiddler's here. Good morning, Twiddler. Thank you for joining us here. It's Tuesday. I think there's something going on at Twiddler's Place. If you've got a link to the game tonight, if there's a game tonight, please put in the comment section. If you guys haven't checked out a channel where there's a lot of action. And I mean this. There's a lot of pack opening. There's a lot of fun to be had over there. There's duck racing. You can participate or not. You can watch or you can join in. It's totally up to you. You might even catch Brody over there from time to time, getting in on some duck racing because it's a lot of fun. So thanks for joining us, Twiddler. Glad to have you in the house. Imagine if Watsy printed a new Terry uh, as a Caucasian. New Terry. Hi, Brian. Glad you made it. Yeah, it makes me okay. So if you think of like um Marvel movies and stuff, like I find it funny how like some movies they'll just restart it with with lore and canon. They'll just restart it with another actor altogether, right? And you just became attached to one. Oh, a new Teferi that was Caucasian. Okay, yeah, yeah, I could see that. I'm pretty sure that would make some conversation for sure. I have to look at a copy of Rocco. Seems like a good card. Yeah, me too. So let's take a look. A couple more cards on the popper list. Brody's burning up the morning oil here with you folks. Thanks for joining me. It's a lot of fun. Sunscape Familiar, an enchantment from Plane Shift. It's a wall, a 0/3, green spells and blue spells. What? Green spells and blue spells cost one less to play. This seems really good. A 0/3 Sunscape Familiar. It's a wall. It's a 0/3. It makes your green spells and your blue spells cost one less. This seems just fine, and it's a common. No doubt it's $3 or $4. This thing's gonna see a leg up in play. Here's a pickup. I think this thing, if it doesn't see a reprint, but here's a decent card. Couple of bucks. Look at this. So here's our one flag. I mean, dust my eyes deceive me. This thing could see another tick up in price at some point in time. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be great. What a great show here this morning. Arcadie's the strategist using it, of course, and familiars as well. Okay, some familiars. I wonder, okay, we know what this one is. This is creatures that swing with their butts, but what's the familiars? Familiars is God Pharaoh's Fateful. Human wizard, whenever you cast a blue or black spell, blue, black, or red spell, you gain a life. This one's really good. Oh my gosh. Sunscape Familiar. Sage's Row Denizen. Whenever another blue creature enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top two cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Mill. Seagate Oracle. An Archaeomancer. Whenever Archaeomancer enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This was an overcosted Alliances card, I think. It was. Wasn't it? Where did it see print first? I thought it was Archaeomancer? Ultimate Masters? No. 2014? 2013? Archaeomancer? I thought it was printed before that. Ah, well, it's fine. Nevertheless, I digress. Thanks for making this show just the best this morning. Everybody is welcome here. You are all welcome here. I appreciate the opinions and the thoughts on certain subjects, but everybody is welcome here to join in and share their thoughts on the channel. And let me know what you think about some of these Pauper cards, because these are. Do you play Pauper? How many people play Pauper? So we know. Do you think there should be mana abilities on planeswalkers? Okay, 11 votes. 73% of you say yes, there should be mana abilities on planeswalkers. Interesting, interesting. So it just gives you an idea, like there is road to go. And that's something we saw on one of those AI cards. What would it be if there was a mana ability on a planeswalker? I mean, I could see this getting like completely busted. Lotus Petal? Okay, so this is this is why we're going to see many copies of the Lotus Petal. Tempest. The original from Tempest is kind of like my favorite one. Well, the Kaladesh invention is kind of hard to beat. It is. It's either this one or the Tempest one for me. From the vault, okay, 25 bucks for this common. And this is the thing about Lotus Petal is because like this is the cool thing about Magic. Is like here's a card that when it was printed in Tempest, it was it was a good card. You're like, wow, it's just a piece of the Black Lotus. It's just a little piece of it. And then now you're like, okay, well, it's common, right? We're gonna give you just a little piece of the Black Lotus at common. This is speaks to the time and the game development, right? Now, if the people I would say this is my opinion on the Lotus Petal. When you look back and now we have the masterpiece version of it, like I'm so glad that we got cars like Lotus Petal at common and Brainstorm at common in a time. This is like how the folks who were in game development during that period of time did us all a favor looking forward into the future by setting a precedent by giving us good cards like this in the common slot. Because then what happens later is like when it becomes apparent, not just to play testers or to company directors or art gameplay designers that a card is particularly good. Now we can like shift it up in rarity straight to mythic with an alternate border and use it to sell boxes. And the Kaladesh inventions were like the first most amazing border treatment, in my opinion. Is like the one that just put everything over the top for border treatments. The Lotus Petal, it's played all over the place. Painter Servant, like we spoke of early this morning, Painter Servant uses it. Mono White Initiative, Reanimator, Urza Lord High, 8 cast. This is another legacy deck. Where's the Pauper decks? I guess any Pauper deck can play it. Why not? Lotus Petal, you got them at the vendor store. There's 20 available for this common. Like what? Like opening a box of Tempest would be awesome because you could get some of these, or even packs of Tempest. I gotta like. Why don't I put that down? Packs of 10 Tempests. So what has Brody got on the list? I'm buy listing. I'm buy listings for some cards. I got a box together. I got Power Leech on there, Phyrexian Infiltrator, Azuri's Predation. I got Broker's Ascendancy, Tigrid. Well, Tigrid, if I can't find my Tigrid, I'm going to have to buy one. And then, like a couple packs of Tempest would be probably pretty cool. Mutagenic Growth. This was common, hey? From New Phyrexia. The original New Phyrexia, printed at common. The foil's 12 bucks, so pretty good foil multiplier. This was big in fact, right? You can pay the Phyrexian mana. It just gets it gives you free buffs and free stuff. Look at the price action on this thing. It's like a seesaw, just up and down. Kind of cool. Mutagenic Growth. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, it's such a cool chart. Uh, I would say I'm pretty bullish on this chart, and we're gonna have to go over reasons why. I would say I was saving that. This is almost looks like a. Well, is it a double top? Is it a double top? Is this a double top? This looks like a double top. I think it's almost a double top right here, folks. Like we were talking about earlier, this could be a double top. See, this is the thing about reading these charts. It's purely interpretive, right? It's like you, however you figure. Rocco's Modern Life was Nicktoon back in the 90s. When do we get a zero cost, one loyalty planeswalker? Oh, now we playing with fire. When do we get a zero cost artifact that taps for mana that comes into play tapped? I don't think you can mess up the lore of Lord of the Rings with the appearance of characters. A movie puts an image in your mind of what someone may look like. The novel is up to someone's imagination. Yeah. Well, like about that, like when it's like I find with the dwarfs though, like when you go into the lore of the dwarfs, like the the part about the dwarfs having beards, like when you speak to like the honor of the dwarfs, and beards, right? Like, check this out. Pretty good beard looking here. Pretty good beard going, right? So dwarfs take their beards pretty seriously. In fact, I think there's some parts that say like a dwarf would rather be caught dead than caught without the beard. So like if you cut a dwarf's beard off or you shave him, like he'd rather just commit suicide than like it's like a dishonor. So like, and then the fact that all dwarfs had beards. So like when you have, I just I if I seen a dwarf without a beard, I kind of scratch my head, and there's like a disconnect between like what you know about the dwarf character and then what you see on the screen, right? We'll see. Or is it just that somebody doesn't want to have a beard in the movie? It's like, I'm not putting one on. Okay. We'll find somebody who will. I guess, I don't know. If that matters, right? So different people like have different opinions about certain parts of lore. It's good conversation. It's like for me the Spider-Man is hard to or even like James Bond is another one. Beards and dwarfs are essential. I think female dwarfs even have a beard. Yeah, I believe that is canon. I believe it's canon for all dwarfs to have beards their regardless if they're a man or a woman, male dwarf or a female dwarf. Yeah, I think yeah, dwarvies. Dwarves have beards, Peach. They do. Wills, they're short too, eh? I'm fond of dwarfs. Let's see if we find some dwarfs on the list here today. Ancestral mask. Here, I'll dwarven armor. Let's find the first one on the list. Let's find some dwarfs. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look at this guy. This guy's bearded up, right? So if we've seen like a really clean cut, slick faced dwarf, I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, that's not a dwarf. Get out of here. Uh, Ancestral Mask. So like, I'm waiting. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. Let's let the people who created the set, we'll see the cards that's in there, and then we'll take a look and go through it, and then we'll have another conversation about what we see. Um, Enchant creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. This is a good card. It was in common under the mystery boosters. Mercadian Mask. Was this the? Let's see. Was this the common? This was the common. This was the common for Mercadian Masks. I like the original one, Ancestral Mask. Look at the art on this by Massimiliano Fresato. Pretty cool looking art on this card. Which one do you like best, folks? Do you like... I'm going to give this one a ding. I like the original common. I bet you it looks great in foil. The Eternal Masters one. Ooh, this is... See, I'm a fan of cartoon personally, right? I like that. So personally, as a matter of personal taste, art is amazing. I like this one, the realistic looking Ancestral Mask. But for me, I like the cartoony one better. I'll take the cartoony one any day. For me, it's more fun. I love this type of artwork. Not taking anything away from this other mask, but just a matter of personal preference, right? Which one do you like? Darksteel Citadel, this indestructible land, and the Slippery Boggle. Okay, Darksteel Citadel. This is a cool card, and it's an indestructible land. It's also an artifact, so this is quite good. Yes, I believe women dwarfs are supposed to have beards. Yes, that's it. Not joking. Magic Canon does describe Argon as dark or black hair, going gray and pale of skin. You can't tell the difference between male and female dwarves by their look. Did he say that? I like the books, I like all that stuff. So we'll give it a chance, right? I gotta keep an open mind. At some point I can't look. I gotta wait till it comes out. I can't look too much. I will look at like the price, like the sites I will look at like the boxes and like spoilers. I'm not really playing competitively anymore, so spoilers aren't too important to me from a gameplay perspective. They're more important to me um for you guys, for capturing for the show and to see what's going to happen in meta games and play games and building decks. Darksteel Citadel, this card was cool because you could cast a spell that says each player destroys a land, like Crack the Earth, and you can't destroy this. So, interesting combos with this one. It's Indestructible Land. It's made of dark steel. It's 99 cents. Nykthos Ramp, Urtet. Anything that needs affinity, of course, is going to want to play this. Pioneer. Here's the Pioneer deck. We don't have a Pauper deck on the list here showing up today. And the last card on the list, because the other one's a basic mountain, is the Slippery Boggle. This guy used to be played with. There's a deck around it called Boggles. They can't interact with it. You play it on turn one, and then you just start beefing it up. And if your opponents can't remove it, it kills you. Kills you, but dead. Boggles. There's the deck. Boggles is running 3 colors now. Boggles is a common, pretty interesting card. Let's look at the deck list for Boggles. I want to look at the Boggly deck list. Glade Cover Scout. This is the other hexproof 1/1, right? And the Slippery Boggle, and then the Siliana Ledgewalker. Can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. Siliana Ledgewalker can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. So Boggles is just all about having like a 1-drop hexproof creature, and then you can. This is a ranked deck for Pauper. 5-1 with this. Commune with the spirits. Interesting. The Silmarillion. I'm not familiar with the Silmarillion. Oh my gosh. So what do you guys think, folks? Should we have mana abilities on Planeswalkers? 73% of the folks watching say yes. We should have some mana abilities on Planeswalkers. And if so, what will we do? Let's take a look at that, right? And just remember, folks, when all this is going on in the world of Magic the Gathering, the stock price is headed towards $42. You can rest assured that the folks and the staff over at Wizards of the Coast are taking this very seriously because they're concerned about the pen mark over the part of the Deckmaster. You may think they're concerned about the pen mark over the Deckmaster, but it is actually this random speck at the back of every Magic card that truly taunts the staff over at Wizards of the Coast. While all this is going on, you can be sure they're working on this seriously. Taking the Bank of America. Are they taking the bank? Does this appear like the WotC staff is taking the criticism of Bank of America downgrading their stock and projecting a $42 price point this year? Or does this look like somebody who just wants to put their head in the corner and pretend there's nothing going on? Well, thanks for joining me, folks. You know what time it is? It is getting on past the hour. Brody's going to make a move for the door before the cops get here. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversation about the new sets and the lore and the character design. So I'm going to wait. Let's wait for it to come out before we jump to any conclusions. show today, folks. I appreciate it. It's the best part of my day. It's all downhill from here. No, just kidding. This is the greatest way to start the day. It gets me amped to get out there and face the world. Shine a little light with me, folks. Thank you all for joining. Say something nice to a stranger today. Maybe open a door for somebody. Pick up a piece of garbage off of the street. Or maybe just give a hand to somebody who's trying to get something into their car. Appreciate you, folks. Wherever you are, thanks for bringing Brody with you and joining me on the world's greatest morning Magic the Gathering show, Morning Magic Stock and Talks with Brody. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.